Hello class 9C. In our last class, we have seen the topic like formula, significance of molecular formula, valency, variable valency. So the last topic that we discussed was variable valency. So valency is defined as the combining capacity of an atom of an element, whereas the variable valency means an elements which exhibits an elements which exhibits with more than one valence. We call it as variable valency, and we have seen the example as well. Iron, copper, lead, all these are examples of elements with variable valency. Now today we are going to see a topic known as radical. Okay? Radical. So a radical is an atom or a group of atoms of the same or of different elements that behaves as a single unit with a positive or negative charge. So, a radical is an atom. It can be a single atom or group of atoms, or a group of atoms where the atoms can be same or different, which behaves as a single unit with a positive or negative charge. And this radical is of two types: simple radical and compound radical. Simple radical means a radical with only one atom only. Say for example, sodium, Na plus, Mg2 plus, Cl minus. So all these are simple radical. In this we have got only one atoms. Compound radical means a compound radical is a compound radical with a group of two or more different atoms, or polyatomic, we call as compound radical. Say for example, NH4 plus, ammonium ion, sulfate SO42 minus. This is the example of compound radical. So in simple radical we have got only a single atom, whereas in compound radical we have got the two or more different atoms, or we can say polyatomic. And you can see over here the ammonium ion, we have got one hydrogen and four hydrogen atoms, and they behave as a single unit with either positive charge. In this case we have got sulfate, sulfur and oxygen, which collectively has got a 2 minus negative charge. Fine. Now we'll try to understand what are basic radical and acid radical. Note, an acid reacts with a base to produce salt and water as a result of neutralization reaction. So we have studied in class 8 a neutralization reaction, where we have studied that when an acid reacts with base, salt and water is produced. So we have taken the same example to understand. So potassium hydroxide, we have taken potassium hydroxide, hydrochloric acid in case of acid. So potassium hydroxide reacts with hydrochloric acid to give you potassium chloride and water. Now, in the formation of potassium chloride, the potassium radical has been contributed by the base potassium hydroxide and is therefore called basic radical. So what happens in potassium chloride? The potassium has been contributed from base, that is potassium hydroxide. So we call this as potassium. In this we call it a basic radical. And while the chloride radical has been contributed by hydrochloric acid and is therefore termed as acid radical, whereas this chloride has come from hydrochloric acid. So this chloride we call it the acid radical. So the part which has come from the from the base we call basic radical, and the part which has come from acid we call acid radical. Once again, sorry for disturbances. Next we have got basic and acid radical. Just now we discussed about it from the neutralization reaction. So When a salt is dissolved in water, it splits up into constituent radicals. The basic radicals are found to carry positive charge and so are termed as electropositive radicals or cations. So when you have got a salt, say for example sodium chloride, when it dissolves in water, it will give you the constituent radical positive and negative. So the positive radical are known as electropositive radicals or cations which carry a positive charge. Say for example in case of sodium chloride, Na plus will be the positive radical. The other part is acidic radical which carries negative charge and so are called electronegative radicals or anions. So what will happen? The acid radical which carries negative charge, they are also called as electronegative radicals or anions. List of some common electropositive ions. Okay, now this we need to understand. This we need to understand because after this we are going to do writing of chemical formula by crisscross method. At that time we should know which ion is represented in which way. Okay, so the first column is monovalent electropositive ion. Monovalent means the electropositive or basic radical having only one positive charge. This is divalent ion having two positive charge. This is trivalent and this is tetravalent. Okay, say for example in case of monovalent ion we have got ammonium and it is represented as NH4 plus. Similarly gold Au plus, silver Ag plus, copper Cu plus, hydrogen H plus, lithium Li plus, sodium Na plus, potassium K plus, mercury Ag plus. Once again over here silver with valence 2, Ag2 plus, barium 2 plus, calcium 2 plus, copper 2 plus, ferrous 2 plus, magnesium 2 plus, Mn 2 plus, mercury 2 plus, nickel 2 plus, lead 2 plus, platinum 2 plus, tin 2 plus, zinc 2 plus. Similarly we have got trivalent electropositive ion as well. Aluminium 3 plus, arsenic 3 plus, Eu 3 plus, Pi 3 plus, Cr 3 plus, Fe 3 plus. And with tetravalent we have got Pb 4 plus, Pt 4 plus and Sn 4 plus. So all these are the examples of basic radicals. So while writing the chemical formula we'll be using these radicals, so please remember it. Next, these are the list of electronegative ions or acid radical. Just now before this we have seen basic radical, positive ions. Now the negative ions or acid radical. Monovalent, similarly divalent, trivalent and tetravalent. Okay, so in monovalent electronegative ion we have got acetate ion CH3CO minus having only one negative charge, bicarbonate, bisulfide, bisulfate, bisulfite, bromide, chloride, permanganate, fluoride, hydride, hydroxide, iodide, Cn minus, cyanide, NO3 nitrate, NO2 minus nitrite, chloride, hypochlorite, chlorate. Then we have got perchlorate, meta-aluminate. In divalent we have got carbonate, dichromate, oxide, peroxide, sulfate, sulfite, sulfide, silicate, thiosulfate, zincate, plumbite, stannate, manganate, chromate, oxalate. In case of trivalent we have got arsenate, nitride, aluminate, arsenite, phosphide, this is phosphide, this is phosphate, borate, carbide. In tetravalent we have got carbide and ferrocyanide. So all these are examples of acid radicals or we call electronegative ions. This also are important because when you write down the any chemical formula you'll get one basic radical and one acid radical. Okay, fine. Now today's assignment number 3, define radical. Question number 2, explain simple and compound radical with examples. Question number 3, what are basic and acid radicals? And question number 4, copy the tables that just now that we discussed about basic radicals and acid radicals. Complete this assignment and send it in my mail.